love jewelry.
Yeah.
I love jewelry too.
Okay, of course, guys, yeah. If I take, do you remember like your first jewelry set that you got for yourself? Jewelry item that you got for
For
yourself?
myself or what was given to me?
Or either ways, yeah.
What was given to me was very special. It was my great-grandmother's, you know that's called a saplada? Yeah. So it was a bigger necklace that my grandfather made a small little thing for me and gave it to me when I turned 12. And I had just gone to boarding school, and so that was my little gift, and it's still very, very special. And yeah, it's an old Hyderabadi piece. It's very beautiful.
Lovely. Manisha ma'am, are you a big jewelry person? Do you?
I am. So.
Can I take you back and ask you the same question? Which was the first? Do you remember your first jewelry item?
The first jewelry. I've never been actually a jewelry person. I love jewelry, of course. I think every woman or every girl loves it. Also for men. But personally, I don't really wear jewelry. Yeah.
Okay. So actually, you are like.
I'm not qualified to answer this question. Not a jewelry person at all. I only wear jewelry when my stylist makes me wear it.
Okay.
That's it.
Wow. Okay. Sangeeta, do you remember what you owned first? Someone gave you or you bought?
Nobody gave me anything. I buy my own jewelry.
Good. Yeah. So,
But honestly, I'm not a jewelry person.
Okay.
The only diamond I have in my life is my daughter.
so of course, the most precious. Big hand to that, guys. Yeah. Richa, how big, out of 10, chalo, how big a jewelry person are you?
I feel like you got like 2 out of 5.
Yeah, Fardeen included, yeah.
God forbid the sponsors
Guys,
jewelry
you think we
person.
wore enough jewelry for a lifetime in HEERAMANDI? That's why we just no jewelry.
Yeah, Richa.
I used to joke that if I just from my mudra sequences, I just jog out of the set and take a rickshaw and leave. I can make an indie film, you know? With all the jewelry that was on me.
Right.
My first piece of jewelry got gifted to me when I turned 18. It was my late grandmother's diamond earrings, and I still have them and I still wear them, and that's about it. I don't think anybody wears a ton of jewelry in their daily lives. और फिर ऐसे शो मिलते हैं तो अरमान पूरे होते हैं.
Okay. Tara, since Fardeen answered, you have to answer this as well.
Right.
Thanks, Pradeep.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I prefer to wear, let's say, I call it accessories, right? So 100%, I love accessories. I think it, right now, you know, women wearing jewelry or men wearing jewelry, the lines have been blurred. You know, we're all, what do you call it? What do you call that? We're all metrosexual, right? And I believe that jewelry enhances and gives you some kind of confidence. Or right now, I wear a few things which is meant for luck.
Okay.
So I believe my mom has made me wear something which I would not like to mention, but she's given me a ring, she's given me a little necklace for, you know, like an evil eye, you know, to protect you from what they call nazar. So yeah, I mean, I stick to that. We're very basic.
It's working.
I hope so. I hope so, man.
Right.
I'm actually now considering getting myself some diamond earrings.
Oh.
So that's the effect. This being part of
Like I said, metrosexual.
Right.
the jewelers get sweeping.
I know, here's a call. My one question to all of you is about your one-on-one experience with Mr. Bansali. Mr. Bansali, if you're watching this interview, I would love to do an interview with you. I've not got a chance yet, but for your one-on-one interaction, what is he like?
You know, firstly he communicates purely, mostly on the level of what he's doing, which is his films. And films just, it's not a job for him, it's his life. I can't imagine him doing anything else besides making movies. And you know, every once in a while you meet people, you know, who are masters at what they do, and he is one such person. You know, it's not often that you meet true masters, and you know, you just surrender to them and you learn from them. and you just watch them work, and you try and imbibe some of their energy, and you try and think about all the spirits they've allowed to possess themselves doing their work. And it's amazing to watch him work. You know, it's like he's got this team of 20, 25 ADs, and you know, who are all learning, who are all on their journey. So in some ways, he's also got a school going on set. I mean, besides his actors and all of us who work there. So it's a true experience, and he's very passionate. He knows what he wants. At the same time, as Richa said, you know, if he strikes a chord, equation with you, he'll ask you he'd invite you into his process, and you know, he'll listen to you, and that's how it should be. And I've never had the chance to work with such an engrossed and passionate filmmaker, and I haven't had many conversations with him besides the movies, but besides pets and giving up smoking and mothers, but besides that, it's just been work.
Gave up smoking?
Who, me? Yes.
Well done.
He wanted to give up smoking, so we had a chat about it.
Okay. Right. I mean, you know, just as a one-on-one with him, what is he like? Like, you know, do you recall anything while shooting a particular scene or something that stays with you?
This could be a thesis, so I'll try and keep it short. I really love Sanjay sir. And I've sort of had an equation with him even before I worked with him in Padmavat. For some reason, he was fond of me, so I just really enjoyed being around him. He's a legendary filmmaker, but I also love him as a person. Like I find him very, like, what he feels, he says. And I think some of the greatest teachers are like that. And I've grown up around a teacher. I've been learning dance since I was 5 years old. So I know what, like, I feel that kind of almost kind of, I don't know what to call it, but like a Guru Shishya way of working. I find that very immersive, very rare, and I find that very true to what it is that he's doing and what he expects from us, and he's hardest on himself. And that childlike quality in him is something that I find very, very beautiful and also very inspiring, that he keeps that going, whatever it is that he's doing.
Manisha, you already spoke about him, but tell us, was this time, did you observe something during a scene? Could you tell us an incident or something that you remember that stays with you?
No, I'm just gonna say a few things about Sanjay. You know, I got to know him during 1942, A Love Story, and he was writing and he was assisting Vinod, and then he got this script of Khamoshi and directed me. So over the years, what I've noticed about him is that, you know, he's like this. Have you seen Cinema, I believe so? It's about a little child who grows up fantasizing about, you know, and he's. So I think Sanjay has grown up. It is in his genes. It is in his soul to kind of make brilliant film. You know, he aspires to grow and just make more and more better films. And he's born for that. And what I see of him is he lives only in his sets. I mean, I think he just goes home to sleep and to make sure his mom is okay and his baby is okay. But his being is in the set, and he's constantly creating, constantly trying to improve himself. He's the most hardworking person I know. Wow. And even after pack up, he goes home and he writes. He's the first one on the set, and he's constantly at it. So he gets rattled up when other people don't match up to his level of dedication. And probably we all have other lives to do and other things to do. He doesn't. It's his sole focus is what work is. The other thing I noticed about him is the kindest soul, because in our set in HEERAMANDI, I have done so many movies, I've not seen that. Okay, of course the younger generation is a lot more evolved and a lot more better and kinder, I feel. But on that set, we had these 30, 40 dogs, and they all were looked after so well. You know, each one was, and I just found that only a kind soul will be so considerate. Normally, you know, people don't care, and they get irritated if some animal crosses the path or something. But no, in HEERAMANDI said they all were like really looked after well,
angry dog had a name.
Yeah.
He was named, he was taken care of. He used to walk into the frames and then Sir's eyes used to light up when the
Dog used to
there was
come.
one dog he named her Janu. So every time Janu would come out like Janu. You see like a different side of him. It's really cute.
And there would be times with the dog when they would be sitting on chairs and it would be like chair cats.
And also we had people looking after them. So it was so nice to see that aspect as well as a creative, his drive, his hunger, to excel in his art.
Nice.
So yeah, I can go on, but this is what I saw.
That's lovely.
About dogs, I'd just like to add the AD team. Whenever things didn't work out well on set, Mr. Bhansali got upset or frustrated, and the ADs were going to be getting his wrath. They used to send all the dogs onto set, at least 4 or 5 of them, because that would just calm him down immediately, and then it would make him reset 10 minutes, and then of course they'll continue with the days.
If he happens to see this interview, those poor guys are not going to be able to use this trick ever again. But think, what have you done?
That is a great story, lovely. Whoever would like to be a dog on Bhansali set, raise your hand. Right.
They were the real heroes.
Yeah, real heroes, absolutely. They get a fly on the wall, dog on the set, this is. Sonakshi, with you also, any incident that you remember that will always stay with you, which is a teaching?
Just watching him, you learn so much. He's absolutely an institution in himself. I think everyone says it, but and that's the only way to say it. He's got so much knowledge of music, of culture, dance, of every art form possible. He's a genius. He's an encyclopedia on films, on you name it. Like he'll tell you right from the 1940s to later aaj tak, he's like an encyclopedia.
Right.
So just having a conversation with him, the way he approaches a scene or a line even or a choreography or anything, he gets so deep into it, and just hearing him talk and just feeling it really teaches you a lot. I feel I've learned a lot just working with him,
Nice. I'll change the question slightly for you, Sangeeta, if you're still with us.
Prepared for the answer.
Sorry, the question for you is, if another actor is working with him in his next film, what would you like to tell them? What should they keep in mind? What should they remember before coming on a Bhansali set?
Nothing, just come unprepared.
Really?
Just come unprepared, because every day is unpredictable. And that creates
Surrender.
Just surrender yourself and just be honest to yourself. Because I think that person, the man behind the camera, our sir, is so honest to himself, and that's why that honesty shows on screen. And I actually call him superhuman. Because what he can create, nobody in the world can create. And you can clearly see.
Nice. Yeah, we saw that. Richa, what would be your tip to someone who's going to work with him in the future? This is also scary, unprepared. Please explain this.
थोड़ा prepare कर लेना है. At least do your lines. Actually, that really worked for me. I had a few conversations with him, and he gave me character briefs. And then we found this album of Meena Kumari's poetry in her own voice. It's called I Write, I Recite. It's from 1980, I think. And then we kind of jammed on it, and he was like, see the tone of the voice, see the rhythm, there's a lyrical quality. And he's like, when I hear her voice, मुझे मोगरे की खुशबू आती है. Now see, for me that's also a direction.
Right.
This man, who is this auteur genius, is hearing this voice, and the visual that he gets is of a certain scape, which he's matched in the show. But he's also like smelling something, you know what I mean? That is such a unique way to think. So, my only tip, if anyone's working, as if, should you be so lucky, guys? But I'm saying, if you get prep work, if he gives you a brief, stick to it like a Bible. I guess what Sangeeta is trying to say is leave room for magic. Let spontaneous things also happen. You can develop something, like I developed like a weird delusional giggle, keep a stumbling attitude if those are the things I did. But I would say just learn your lines and then go and just be a blank page and let it paint on you.
Right. Taha, in case you were prepared, I'm changing the question. This is the last question. So I'm putting you in a spot. What all performances stood out for you
In the show?
from this entire?
Which performance did
Yeah.
stand out is the question.
Okay. Which? Yeah.
Which performance didn't stand
Didn't
out?
stand out.
First of all, I don't think Sir would ever move on from a shot if he didn't get what he exactly wanted.
Right.
Right? I mean, we have given takes, 15 takes, 20 takes, and maybe even more sometimes to get the magic of what all these wonderful artists are talking about.
Right.
You know, so, I feel that everyone's performance, whether it be the smallest character, some actresses that you will see on, all of this cast members are great, but there are other cast members who are not here.
Right.
You know, just for an example, since she's my friend, there's a girl called Shruti.
Okay.
Right, she's done such an incredible job. Her eyes does, portray such incredible emotion. She was playing Sharman's friend,
Right.
Simon. She was playing Simon in the room, and that's just one of the characters. What about what's his name? And what about the Ustadji?
Yeah.
Ustadji is so incredible,
Right.
so incredible. I mean, his expression, his adai, right, was unmatched, and I mean, your daughter's name, Shama. So we can't just say that it's just us.
Sure.
The show is driven by a bunch of talented cast,
Right.
which right now you might not see them, but when you watch the show, which I hopefully wish that you guys go home and watch it, you guys will come across some really incredible talent, right? That we have been, it's such an honor to be part of, and I've learned so much from watching all these characters,
Right.
So yes, that's what it is, man. Everybody's just
Right.
a part of the magic, man.
Yeah. So naive of me to think that I can.
Artists of every field, because the man drives excellence, And I had this beautiful, talented dancer, and her, and all of us. I think on to you, ma'am.
Yeah.
I wanted to just add that, Sir's, again, his expertise. Of course, Kuki was there, she's choreographing the whole thing. She has a great knowledge of the camera, she's worked with it before. But for the bhavs that we were all standing in one line and expressed, he got Maharaji's student to come in, Vijay Shri.
Yeah.
And it takes someone with knowledge of like that art form, that specific, who are the best people in town for that specific art form, and he'll get those. Or even the fact that Sakal Ban is such an old tune, but he added the Pakhavaj, so it gives it that like one feeling of just joining the dance, and that's eventually how the song also ends. Yeah, with all the women coming together.
Right, guys, we can go on and on, but what we want is